Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the BassBlaster, and this is your Abu Garcia REVO Humminbird Minn Kota top 5 tips and trends of the month. Number 1.
Critical systems alert. Critical systems alert.
Yeah, that's because bass fishing here and there is getting to be more about systems, like your rod, reel, line, bait, and terminal tackle for a certain technique. Sometimes all made by the same company or the same family of companies.
Technique.
Hey, of course that ticks Squidward off, because what doesn't other than clarinets? Alright, anyhow, I'm not a swim bait or glide bait expert.
Far from it.
Exactly, like I was saying, I'm not an expert by any means, but my understanding of swim bait rods and reels is that it's pretty much been a mix and match deal.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Not at all.
And now for something completely different.
Not completely, but after a couple years of diving into swim bait rods and reels and bringing their tech and know-how to it, Abu Garcia just launched the Beast series of rods and reels. Yeah, beast mode like this. Now the new Beast lineup has 7 rods and 4 reels, but they're not all for bass. Now 3 of the reels are bait casters in the 200, 300, and 400 size, and basically Abu said the 200 and 300 are pretty much the ones for bass fishermen. Now you might be used to a bigger reel, but the big deal with these things, or one of the big deals, that they're smaller bodied so they fit real well in the hand. And they also have stout gears and an ultra smooth drag system. In other words, they just might be the most comfortable, least fatiguing, best and smoothest drag for the price swim bait reels ever made. All you swim bait guys, let me know. And price wise, they retail less than the Shimano Tranx and the Daiwa Zillion. Well, they are part of a system, so I do of course have to mention the rods, 3 of which are basically for bass. Those are the 7.5, 7.9, and the 8. And the longer 2 of those 3 rods are 2-piecers, so you can fit them in your rod compartment in your boat or in your truck. But they're not the old school 2-piecers.
So it just gives you that flexibility of being able to break it down, and then when you put it back together, it actually has a locking ferrule on here, so you can screw it down, so you are then 100% guaranteed that the rod won't come loose when you're actually fishing it.
Hey, pretty cool. There's a lot more you can read about the Beast rods and reels on BassBlaster.com. And since we're talking about systems here, I need to shout out a new bait from Abu's sister company, Berkeley, called the Chop Block. You can see that bait has a gizzard shad-like profile. And that, plus the Cull Shad and the Nessie, well, it sure seems like a swim bait system to me. And not nearly as expensive as most swim bait setups and baits, so
I think it's a gateway drug.
seems like it, man. Number 2.
Colors. Shapes.
Ah, yeah, ain't it great? I'm talking bass baits. Some of the greatest things that have ever been created. And recently, a trend has been this shape. Like this, and most recently this. That's the new Berkeley Power Bait Maxcent Flux Gill, and it's the most recent creation to come out of Berkeley Labs, where they do trigonometry, organic chemistry, and of course, quantum physics. In other words, all those subjects we tried hard to avoid in school. All right, anyhow, all that brain power gave us, among other things, Maxcent, which in my opinion is one of the greatest things at times ever in bass fishing. So another Maxcent bait in an on-trend shape is great. And all those math, chemistry, and physics designed holes in this bait, well, they increase the surface area. And with scent, that means more of it comes out faster, like this.
Whoa.
Whoa, right? And here's the deal about this bait. You can fish it just about any way. Nico, drop shot, free rig, on a jig head, wacky, skip it weightless like a stick worm, use it as a trailer, and probably even more.
Well, I'm sold.
Will it be the deal? Only one way to find out, man. Number 3. All right, is this a trend?
We're trending up, boys. We are trending up.
Well, maybe so. Talking Livingston Lures after Laker Howell got that walking boss in the bone cracker color single-handedly sold out of just about everywhere when he won the Wheeler Lake Bassmaster EQ tournament on it about a month back. Now, you could call that a one-off, but then his dad, Randy Howell, went out and got third on his home lake, Guntersville, with the same bait, just in a different color. It's called Ginrin, I think, or Ginrin. That was at the Ultimate Angler Championship. Now, both Howells swear that that noise-making chip deal inside these baits and in all Livingston baits is a difference maker for sure at times. In fact, Laker went mano a mano with another competitor at Wheeler.
Mano a mano?
Yeah, mano a mano, and the other guy was fishing a regular topwater right by Laker, at least for part of the time, and Laker outcaught him by 20 plus pounds. So I talked to Eric Arnoldson at Livingston to find out what's up. Here's a couple quick deals from that conversation, but way more is on BassBlaster.com. Livingston is constantly improving their sounds and the chip itself. Their sounds and colors match, meaning shad colors have shad sounds, craw colors have crawfish sounds, frogs have frogs, and so on. In fact, a shad's beating heartbeat sound is now going into their jerk baits. That's pretty cool. And they're starting to incorporate materials in their chip that make their baits show up better on forward-facing sonar.
It's bold, innovative.
And the mini battery in these baits holds up for like years, even if you cast a ton like... Alright, I thought it was interesting. And if anybody thinks it's cheating somehow, I mean, what about adding scent?
Same difference.
Seems like it. Number 4. Would you ever switch your rod hand? Which of course means you'd also have to switch your reeling hand? Yeah, most people, probably including Ted, would never do that because you're not as good with it. Not as strong, not as fluid, it feels weird, all that stuff. Which is exactly why this guy, Jordan Lee, did it. But just for one technique, which is the biggest technique right now, shaking a minnow. Here's why.
But for whatever reason, when I have it in my left hand and I go to shake, I have the butt of the rod in line with my arm, so I have kind of like a place where it can rest right there. When I'm going in my right hand, if I shake it this way, you could shake it. You could shake it down like this. But for whatever reason, I guess it's from using a bait caster all these years, you know, jerk bait and stuff like that. My left arm just seems to be more comfortable. Even though it's taken me a little while to learn how to reel with my right hand, man, it's made my catch ratio, I feel like, go up tremendously.
Now he says his catches go up because he's actually shaking the bait less. Here's a little of what he said about that in the BassBlaster email. I was moving the bait too much while holding the spinning rod in my right hand, pulling the bait away from the fish. You never really work other baits with a spinning rod like you do when you're shaking a minnow. He said, I swapped hands and I could keep the bait in the strike zone longer. He also said he noticed that the Japanese anglers keep their rod tips down so that the bait moves less when they shake it. So the next time you're try switching hands. It might be money or Eddie money. Number 5
is our only hope.
Yeah, that's what some people are thinking about. Russ Lane. Russ is a former Bassmaster Elite Series Pro and MLF Bass Pro Tour Pro who's been trying to climb his way back up the ladder on the Bassmaster side. That's through the Opens the last 2 years. And this year he's been doing exactly that, kinda on the down low until recently.
Initiating stealth mode.
Yeah, like that, but maybe more like this. Meaning while everybody else is focused on the hottest young guns floating around offshore, Russ is stealthily cleeping. It's not a word, Jay. Russ is stealthily creeping along in the shallow jungle.
Creeped out.
Okay, maybe creeping isn't the right word for it, but the fact is that Russ has been kicking tail stealthily. Now, he finished 6th in the points in Division 1 of the Opens, and currently is 5th in the Bassmaster EQ points with 1 tournament to go.
Not bad for an old man. You finished?
No, he's not finished. All right, when I asked him what's up, he said a couple things. One is that he can scope, and he does with a minnow and drop shot when he needs to, but he also said he catches a lot of fish shallow on a variety of baits and has fished a crankbait a lot more this year. He says it's about half and half newer stuff to conventional bass fishing techniques. Second is he's noticing what he calls windows of opportunity and absolutely did not want to explain exactly what he meant by that. But he did say it all started when he became more open-minded.
Open your mind.
All right, so you rooting for Russ?
You kind of root for him for a second.
He did say he's got some new tech for the last EQ. Watch out for Russ, man. All right, that's all I got for you this month. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Abu Garcia REVO and Humminbird Minn Kota. See you next month with the top tips and trends. God bless you.